Welcome to Inspiring Narratives, your favorite channel for uplifting stories, renewed hope, and cultivating a deeper connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Discover with me how turning to Allah can lead you to amazing changes in your life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are back with another uplifting story that will, by the grace of Allah, strengthen your faith and renew your hope, inshallah. Let's start by sending peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Say it with me. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali wa ashabi ajma'in. Pour yourself a cup of something you love, get comfortable, and let's get started with our story. My husband married another woman, and I'm his first wife. The reason behind his marriage was because I had trouble getting pregnant. I saw several doctors, and despite trying everything, including medications, we weren't able to conceive for 8 years. The day came when my husband told me, I want to get married. He said, you are my wife and I respect you, but I want to have children. He kept talking until he convinced me, and I knew it was his right to have children. Indeed, he went and got married. Of course, the lady he married, I neither knew her nor did she know me. She was from another city, chosen by his mother. He got married and in a different area than where I was living. I never saw her. All I knew about her is that she was around my age. He went away for a week, then came back. At first, it was so difficult to accept another woman in my husband's life. I always made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He bless me with patience. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put patience in my heart, and I adapted to the situation. I learned to live with it, accepted the reality, and stopped upsetting myself with overthinking, because what has happened, and there's no escape from it. At first, it was difficult, but alhamdulillah, with dua, patience, and faith in Allah, I passed through this phase and accepted the situation. Around 4 months after their marriage, I hadn't heard anything about her being pregnant. No one spoke of it, and I got curious. Could she be pregnant? Are there any problems? I knew my husband didn't have any issues, as confirmed by the doctors and tests. I had some minor issues that were treated, yet I couldn't conceive. After 5 months of their marriage, there was still no pregnancy. During that time, my brother was planning his wedding and invited me to attend. The wedding was in a city a little far from where we live. My husband suggested I go early to my brother's wedding to relax and have a change of scenery, especially since his new wife was planning to visit my uncle's house, where I lived on the 2nd floor. She wanted to meet me and build a connection, but I refused. I didn't see anything bad from her, but as a person and a woman with emotions and feelings, I couldn't imagine a day would come where her and I will sit together and talk. So I told my husband I'll go to my brother's house a week before the wedding. He gave me money and encouraged me to enjoy myself, buy new clothes and have fun. I went to prepare for my brother's wedding, subhanAllah. All the way there, I was thinking, I'm going to visit my family, and I've been waiting for this day for so long. The day I visit my family, it's like Eid to me. First time ever I go visit my family, and I kept thinking about my home. My body was with my family, but my mind and soul was with my husband. How could I be away from him this time, and there's another woman in my place? My heart ached at the thought that my husband was content and comfortable with another woman other than me. It was incredibly painful for me. At first I told myself it wasn't a big deal, and that I'd move on. But for the first time ever, I left my home feeling deeply sad. The reality of my husband being married to someone else hit me hard, and it felt like I no longer mattered to him because he had someone else. I arrived at my family's house and tried to enjoy myself, but it wasn't quite what I had hoped for. Their attention and their concern for me felt like they were trying to fill a void, almost as if they pitied me, which was hard for me to accept. Everyone was happy preparing for my brother's wedding, and all I could do was cry. I cried and I cried at my family's house, feeling all the pain I hadn't felt during my husband's wedding. First and the second day went by, I don't know how, and on the third day I was surprised to see my husband had come to check on me. He didn't want me to feel that he was indifferent because of another woman. I was overjoyed, feeling as if Allah was comforting me by bringing my husband to me. I asked him, how come you're here when you are busy and have things to do? I knew that he intended to come on the day of the wedding, but coming before the wedding made me think there must be something. He told me that his second wife wasn't feeling too well and that he had something to tell me. I said, what? Is she pregnant? He told me, yes, she's pregnant, and inshallah, Allah will bless you too. At that point, honestly, I didn't know whether to be happy or cry. I had mixed feelings. He tried to comfort me and said, don't be upset. Allah is capable of all things. My child is your child, and whatever happens to me happens to you. My happiness is from your happiness. I asked him why he had come to me at this time. He said he took his wife to her parents' house as she wants to rest. And he wants to spend the week with me, and that I should prepare myself because he's booked a hotel for us both, and that he will spend these days with me, and then we'll go back home together. I was glad he came. I packed my things and we went to the hotel enjoying a few great days together. After that, we went to my brother's wedding, and mashallah, I forgot a lot of my worries and felt truly blessed by Allah. We returned back home. Of course, I came back and the thought of having a baby was on my mind. After many years, I had accepted the situation. But after his marriage, I felt a strong need for something, for Allah to bless me with a child. So I started praying, oh Allah, don't allow this year to pass until you bless me with a baby. You blessed her and my husband is happy. Oh Allah, make me happy too, just like they are. I would make dua constantly, sending blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad, and I sought forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala often. I would say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah repeatedly. 3 months later, I became pregnant. After years of trying and giving up on treatment, after my husband's marriage, I found myself expecting a child. I was overwhelmed with gratitude, prostrating and thanking Allah for this great blessing. My husband was overjoyed, and so was his mother. Everyone celebrated with us, and my family was happier than ever. My pregnancy went well, and Allah granted me with a son. My husband's other son was born 3 months before mine, so there was 3 months between them. I kept praying, thanking Allah for the blessings He bestowed upon me. And I remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words, if you are grateful, I will surely increase you. After a year and 8 months, I became pregnant again. Allah blessed me with a daughter. And now I have 3 children, alhamdulillah. I don't know what to say. Allah is capable of all things. It's impossible for anyone to make dua to Allah without seeing Allah's response. It may take some time, things might get difficult, but eventually there is always relief and joy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored me, and though there is another woman in my husband's life, I am content, alhamdulillah, with what Allah has written for us. قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ مَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. It is the decree of Allah, and whatever He wills, He does. Imagine my husband was telling me, if only I was a little more patient. I told him this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for us. This is exactly how things are meant to be. I remind him to be grateful for everything. My relationship with my husband has improved, and he treats me with so much love, kindness and respect. His second wife, she visits us during family events, but we are not close, and I believe it's best that way. I fear jealousy or potential problems, so I like to keep things that way to avoid possible problems. Her son visits us, and my children go to their home as well. Alhamdulillah, I am content with Allah's blessings. All thanks and praise belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this story. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so do leave a comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.